Hello, world. Back again, back again. It's your girl, Candace.
And I'm Colette.
And this is Hey Cuz.
What's up, cuz?
What is?
All right. And today we're talking about friendships. We're going to be defining the difference between a healthy friendship and an unhealthy friendship. So I want to start off by actually defining the word friendship. So I feel like this song that a lot of you probably heard of because it's a childhood song, it defines it perfectly for me. So I'm just going to play this for you
Let's
guys.
see what you got.
For you. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime at all.
Down here in the deep blue sea. F is for fire that burns down the whole town. U's for uranium bombs. N is for no survivors. When you
Blank done.
So we can see one of them has a good grasp on friendship and the other one not so much. And I feel like it plays out in real life a lot.
Yes, SpongeBob knew what they knew what they were talking about over here. SpongeBob, man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I mean, friendships do be like that.
Nothing but that thing. Shane, there's some toxic friendships. We got to talk about it.
Right.
How would you define friendship?
Oh, man.
Define
Friendship is intimate relationship between two people. You should be able to have a level of comfort where you can share anything without fear of judgment. You should just be able to be honest with your friends, good, bad, ugly. That's what I feel. I saw and reposted a meme the other day and it said, you can't share everything with all your friends. And I was like, why? I mean, it's true, but I was like, why? I feel like if you're my friend, and I'm the type of person, I don't throw that term around loosely, like friend or bestie. Like there's a running joke with my group of friends. Like I refuse to call people my best friend because I'm like, it's a curse. As soon as you drop that label on somebody, like the whole thing turns to trash. So I refuse to call anyone my best friend. But I feel like I should be able to tell any one of my friends whatever. Like, I feel like you should be able to tell everything to your friends. What else are they there for?
Right. That's your support system. I mean, I agree with that. A friend, you should be able to talk to them about anything. I do use the word best friend, but only a certain people, small group of people actually have that title. And then there's friends, and then there's also associates. So we'll get into all that later too. But because not everyone needs the label friend.
Right.
I should be able to come to you and, talk about things that are difficult, express myself, be myself without judgment, be supportive. I should be able to come to a friend with any type of emotion, as long as I'm not projecting something onto that person because of my own issues. But if I'm sad, I want to be able to be vulnerable around that friend. If I'm upset, I want to be able to vent that. If I'm happy and I'm celebrating, I want that friend to be just as happy, excited with me about what I'm celebrating. Like, I feel like friendships should promote growth, and they should constantly be changing and evolving. Like everyone's in a different place. Some people change and evolve on different times, different levels, but a friend supports that instead of going, oh, we're different, I don't like that.
Yeah, everybody should be different. Shouldn't just be like a collective of yes men.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I hate that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They enable
your friends to be able to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I always ask my friends, I'm like, check me. Because you already know I'm gonna check you. So people like say, okay, this you always tell people stuff. But I'm like, I never said you couldn't tell me. I love feedback. I want to grow. I want to be a better person. And how am I supposed to know unless like you tell me? You're the closest people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
They say friends are your chosen family. And that's how I feel. Sometimes you see your friends more than you see people that you're related to.
You tell them.
I want you to tell me.
Sometimes you tell them stuff that you haven't told your family.
Absolutely. Completely. Yeah. So it should always be like a give and take and we grow together. So that brings me to the topic of childhood friends. Because I feel like people think they need to cling to childhood friends just because they've been friends forever. And in my opinion, the quantity of time does not necessarily equate to the quality of the relationship.
Mhm.
One more time for the people back. The quantity of time, church, does not equate to the quality of the relationship. That goes for any type of relationship, but I mean, friendship, I feel like I see that a lot. And it's kind of weird because I don't think I have any childhood friends. No offense to anyone. I don't think I do. But we switched schools so much. So it goes back to that. I never really had the opportunity to make childhood friends. Childhood friends that I have are probably the earliest is middle school. That was the longest I was ever in the school. So there's people who I still know from then. But I can have most of my friends I have are from college and after. So what year is 2021? So that's what, 10, 12 years ago. So that's where most of my friendships are from.
Okay.
But yeah, I see a lot of, especially living in Georgia, the concept of childhood friends I really learned about, because people will always be like, oh, I knew so-and-so from first grade. And that was always mind-blowing to me because, you know, they go to the same schools and they see the same people all their life. So I always thought that was fascinating. But you also see the, you know, opposite side of it, where it's like they're just friends simply because they've been friends all their life and it's hard to let that go. But you outgrow people. I've had friends like they expect you to be the same person that you were when you met. But I'm like, if we met when we were kids, I'm almost 30. I'm not gonna be the same person. And if you're my friend, I don't want you to be the same person you were when we met.
Right.
You should always be growing. That's
Right.
how I feel.
Right.
What do you think about it?
Oh, I agree. I feel like that's when it gets toxic is, you know, all right, I'll give you a example. For me, I would say my closest friends are people that I knew from high school. I also have friends from college, but the longest friendships, the ones that have that title, um, those are my friends from like high school. And I have changed. I have grown. I remember, you know, knowing them and hanging out and doing this. And even when we got to like drinking age and coming age, we were out, going out, hanging out the whole
hard in the paint.
Not missing a day, the whole 9. And now I don't club. Don't ask me to go, I won't go. I'm just not interested. And I remember when that changed for me, they were still, at the time, they're still in the period of their life where they still wanted to party. But because they loved and cared about me, they respected me and my choices, they were like, oh, okay, well, we won't invite you to the clubs, but maybe we can go out and do brunch or something. Maybe we can go to the, like, their agenda changed to still incorporate me in their life and still hang out, but also respecting the fact that, okay, like Colette doesn't want to do this anymore. She's changing and she's growing. I mean, now, none of us really party like that anyway. So it's not an issue anymore. We're still, now we're even more on the same page, but all that did was go, oh, okay, I just need to revamp this a little bit so that I can still have this friendship. It wasn't a, oh, I don't want to be around you anymore because you don't want to go out to the club. There was no, oh, I don't know what to do with you anymore because you don't want to do this. I feel like if that's your only bond is you guys are friends because you both drink or you both party or you both read the same books or whatever, like that's your only connection. If that changes, if you can't find anything else to sustain that friendship, then I would say it was never really a friendship.
Yeah. That's why I always, I'm real picky with the labels. I don't like labels in general. So, and I think for conversation purposes, it's easier just to say friend. But 9 times out of 10, this person is not a friend. Like you said, you have friends and you have associates. I say I have friends, associates, and people I know. Like I know a lot of people from various different parts of my life. I know a lot of people. Very few people of those people really know me. So I say that I can count on probably one hand the amount of true friends that I have who I know them and they know me like in, out, good, bad, ugly, and still stick around, So that's that true friendship. But like you said with the partying thing, in life, I feel like it's easier for people to go toward negative than for somebody positive to pull people to that side. So it gets tricky with friendships, especially as a young adult, because people do like to party. And then, when that's not your thing, you find that you either have to, cave or, lean more over to that, or, you just get excluded.
Yeah.
which isn't fun either. So there was a period of time where I felt like I got left out a lot. I was in, school. So I was nursing school, and, you have time for nothing but school. So I did get left out because people just assumed that I was busy. But I've had to sit down and talk with some friends and stuff. And I'm like, my phone works. My car works. Like, don't just assume that I'm not going to show up. Just reach out to me. I'll say yes or no. I think with young adults, people our age, there's an issue with communication and honesty. I think that's a big issue. It's like people are afraid to tell the truth. And like one person told me, they're like, I don't want to say no. I'd rather just say nothing. And I'm like, that's rude. like if somebody asks you a question or invite you somewhere, if you can't go, you just don't respond. Like, that's rude. Yeah, that's rude. I was like, no, that's rude. Just respond. Because I'm like, I'm not going to be waiting around for you. I don't know what's going on. So I think with people our age, and it's weird having to maintain those bonds. It's difficult, because we're just now starting to figure out life, and we're adults now. It's so funny. Like, we're the adults in the room, and it's awkward. And so now we're struggling with navigating adulthood. That's difficult in and of itself. And now we have to figure out how to maintain these friendships. And, when we formed those bonds, we were in high school and running amok and gallivanting, as I posted the other day, as our parents always think, we're gallivanting in the streets. But, as we grow up, we have responsibilities and we can't do the things that we used to do. Right. So I feel like transitioning, I think is a great success if you're able to transition from being a teenager to being a young adult with your friends. I think that's a great accomplishment. And so, I've lost a few along the way, I'm not gonna lie, but I do have some. It happens, man. Like I said, people expect you to be that same person you were when they met. And I'm like, if I met you when I was 15, I mean, that's 15 years later, you want me to be the same person. It's not gonna happen.
And sometimes I've lost some that are just permanently gone, like,
Oh, for sure.
And then some, I would say, just lost their status. And instead of being a friend, they're now more of an associate. And we just operate in that capacity, and it's fine.
I got demoted.
Okay. That is one way to get it. But and I feel like, there's nothing wrong with constantly looking at those groups that you call friends and going, okay, does this puzzle still fit?
Absolutely. I say this at least once a year on Facebook. I'm like, you need to reevaluate your circle. I say that all the time. Like, always. Nobody's safe for me. Like, I love y'all, but nobody's safe. There's a radio show and they're like, you just got let go. Like, that's like my motto in the back of my head. Like, I will let you go in a minute. You know what? For me, I am a Leo. I am loyal, like fiercely loyal to a fault. But there are people who would take advantage of that. I'm not loyal to the point I'm going to let you just do what you want. Like, I've said that in previous videos. So conversely, the opposite of that loyalty is I will cut you off. Like,
cold cut.
No demotion.
First, hey, there's some issues that I'm seeing, or are you just...
I would discuss it. I'm all about discussion. I had a discussion with one of my close friends, over the holiday, time. And we just had to talk it out. And I've tried to talk it out with that person before. Maybe they weren't ready for that conversation. We had it again because I was willing to, do that. Because I feel like this person, we've been friends for a long time. We know each other's family, all that. So I'm like, I'm willing to work. I am willing to work, but to an extent. At some point, I'm not going to keep being that person. If that's what people expect. They're like, oh, Candace loyal, she's not going nowhere. Try me if you want. Like, I'm going to put forth the effort. In life, I have a 2-strike rule. I stand pretty firm in that. So you get those 2 chances, we try to work it out. Cut it off. I don't have time. I don't have time for drama. Some people people thrive on drama. Like I said, people get stuck. They get stuck on where you met them. And I'm an ever growing person. Like, I change all, I'm always growing. I want to learn. I want to check myself. I want to be a better person. That's how I am. So I'm not going to keep dealing with foolishness from high school. There are some people who are just stuck in high school.
Oh yeah.
They were cool in high school and they think they're still in high school because that was their prime. That was not my prime. Like my prime is always today.
Yeah.
Like, and even like I really wasn't, high school wasn't like, wasn't special for me. So I'm definitely not going to get stuck there. But there are people who are just they still in their head, they think they're the popular girl, they're the prom queen, they're the jock, they're the, what I'm saying? They're that, what do you call it? The yearbook, what's that title they give them? They're the yearbook superlative. That's what they are in their head. And it's like, it's 15, we graduated high school a long time ago. Like, you got to come up out of that. And it's just funny to watch some people. I'm like, you are grown. Some of y'all have kids and you still acting like you were in high school. Mm-hmm. And I just cannot. Like, I was not my greatest self in high school at all. Not even in college. I pretended to be my best self in college, but I was not. Like, it was like fake it till you make it, maybe, but I was not my best self in college at all. So it's like, that's definitely not a place where I want to get stuck. And that's why I like to have deep conversations with my friends, because I want to see if they're moving with me. Because you don't want to lose friends. That hurts. I feel like that hurts more than a breakup.
Yeah.
Friend breakups, it's tough.
So you shared big parts of your life for a long period with these people. So yeah, that's
milestones and victories and failures, and then it's just gone. It hurts.
Yeah, it does. I definitely fight for my friendships. Like I do. I don't know if it's this only child syndrome I have going on in my life, but if we going through something, I'm gonna drag you in that ring. We gotta duke this out. We gotta fight for this relationship. But if it's really seeming like the person just does not care, then I will let them go, because I feel like I'm definitely worth that fight. I'm a good friend. I feel like I'm a good friend. If otherwise, feel free to comment, but I really feel like I'm a good friend. So if I'm putting forth the effort of, like, showing up, being supportive, being that shoulder to cry, and also rooting for you along the way, and you can't even meet me to be willing to work with it. And like you said, you hit the nail on the head with the whole communication thing. I feel like a lot of people, I don't know if it's the way we grew up, or some people grew up, or poor modeling of parents, with being communication, allowing yourself to feel things,
having a safe space.
Yeah, it's just, when it's good, but if there's some type of conflict, if we, not seeing eye to eye, instead of just coming to the person and saying that, there's this avoidance. And things are avoided, it's not getting dealt with. So then how does it get better? And then next thing you know, the person just wants to either project some stuff that's, not fair, just start erupting out of nowhere, or they just completely fall off. So, in that case, it's like you lose a friendship for really nonsense. Because it could have been.
That happens too.
Look back at it, it's like, okay, well, what?
They don't want to admit fault.
Right. They don't want to deal with their own emotional discomfort. That's what it really is.
That's big for me. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm a work in progress. Let me just put that disclaimer out there. I am very unforgiving, and I know that. Look, we're honest here. This is a safe space.
Go ahead. Speak.
But people know that. Okay. I tell them, I'm like, y'all know I have a very low tolerance for nonsense. People know that about me. And if you cross me, like I said, I am loyal. I am fiercely loyal. So when you cross me, I feel very deeply hurt. So I'm like, you know what? There's no redemption.
Because if you're unforgiving, if someone has something that they want to, if there's a rift or something, they want to bring it up.
Depends on what it is.
They feel afraid to do it because they know you're unforgiving or something.
I've heard that too. But it's
How
like
on your friendships. How does this work, Candace?
Okay. I'm very open and I'm honest. Like, I'll always communicate, and I communicate in the moment. Like, I'm not gonna wait. Like, I'm gonna tell you I didn't like this, boom, boom, boom. So there's always opportunity to talk about it. So I'm not saying like, I'm just like, oh, I'm mad at you, forget you. No, there's always room to talk, but there comes a point when I draw that line, it's drawn and it's in like Sharpie.
When you communicate and you're open, you're saying, okay, there's something we need to talk about. Are you expecting for that person to talk about the issue right then and there? Are you expecting them to?
That would be nice, but it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen.
So do you give
I would say, you know, when you're ready, come back to me.
Okay. Yeah,
but I'm not gonna keep reaching out.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't, because it feels like things are one-sided.
Yeah.
So after a point, I do get exhausted. So I'm like, you know what? If it gets quiet, then I'm gonna let it be quiet. You know, I'm gonna let it be quiet. If you want to fall off, I'm gonna let you fall off.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily kicking people out of my life, but if they walk, I'm not gonna like close the door and be like, no. The door is always open for people to do what they want.
Okay.
Like, I'm not just like, get out.
I have to ask. You said cut.
I mean, when it's time to cut, I'm cut. But like, if they walk out, I might close the door. I might close the door behind them, but I'm not gonna kick them out.
Okay.
I'll let them mosey on out at their own pace. But it's very unlikely that I'm gonna open the door back again. That's me. Okay. If you leave, it's very unlikely that door's gonna open back up.
All right, that's fair. You got to protect your peace at all times. So.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a brick wall full of Jello. You know, once you break, like I'm tough. I'm a tough cookie to crack. Oh, so I feel like once I let my guard down,
Jello. Huh? I said I know about the Jello.
Right, exactly. Like people think I'm so horrible, but I'm like, I'm really just like really mushy and gushy on the inside. But like, so that's why I feel very betrayed, because when I do let my guard down and someone like takes advantage, yeah. I feel very hurt by that, and it's very hard to come back from that for me.
Okay.
I take my heart like very personally, very seriously. I love my friends. My friends have seen, like, when I say good, bad, ugly, hot mess, in the hospital, hair looking crazy. My friends have seen it all. So I'm like, if you can last through that, I'm an open book. Look, I'm not that difficult to get. Once you get past the gate, like, it's very easy to figure me out. Like, I'm not as complex as people think I am. I don't think. Like, I just like to have a good time, just kick it. I like to be open and honest with my friends. Like, I feel like I should be able to tell you everything, anything. Mm-hmm. And I just like to keep your brain.
That's something else I want to talk about. So in terms of, like, you mentioned changing. So from childhood, high school, college, and now we're adults. What are the topics that you talk about?
What do we talk about?
Yeah, is it superficial stuff? Is it, okay, we're growing, getting older, and now we're talking about deep things, politics, religion, kids, family? You know, should that stuff change as well?
The conversation? Yeah, I think so. There's certain things I don't like small talk in general, like the weather. I mean, come on, you talk about your friends. It's like, what makes you, what makes you tick? Like, I really like to get to know people. Like I'm a psychologist or something. I want to know, like, why do you think the way you do? What happened in your childhood? Like, this is what I want to know.
You want a full interview? That's what you want.
I want to know. Because, like, you really do just get to know people, because that's what causes misunderstandings. And I'm a highly misunderstood person. Like, my whole life, people just don't get me. Unless you hang around for a while, then you're like, oh, that's just Candace. Because at first glance, most people hate me. And they tell me this. It's like a running joke. Like, a lot of people have told me that. They're like, I hated you when we met. That's the motto for me. Like, people don't like me when they first meet me, but I'm just misunderstood. I'm just really quiet, and I think I'm just really observant. So people think I'm standoffish, but really it's just, I'm kind of shy. I know I'm very outspoken and talkative, and people who know me, they're like, well, you're not shy. But if I'm in an environment I don't know anybody, I'll be very quiet. So that can come off as being standoffish. But yeah, I just want to get, if you're going to be in my personal life, I should feel like I should know you. And I feel like a lot of people don't know their friends, their partners, their, you know what I'm saying? Even their family. They don't know. We don't know. I don't want secrets. I want to know you. I want to know everything. Because you might have behaviors that I'm just like, ugh. But if I understand where it comes from, then I can allow for grace. I'm like, okay, I understand why you do this, or why you say this, why you talk like that.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to push people away if it's something that you don't like about them. But once you understand what's behind it, and I think that's the true beauty of a friendship. When you learn to understand the why, not just what. Like I know what, I don't know a lot of what's, but I want to know the why for people.
Yeah. And then I feel like then you can also help that person without being completely codependent now, but just help them to break some of those barriers down. Because it's not that they don't know how. It's not they're bad. They don't know how.
Yeah. And when you're so close to people, like their stuff will bleed onto your stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have enough stuff. So it's like, let's help each other to work on our stuff so we're not hurting each other. It impacts what's going on with your life will impact your friends. You might lash out at your friends for something that has nothing to do with them, and they don't know why. They eventually gonna get sick of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, you need to really get to know people, know what's going on. And that's why, we check in, what's going on with y'all? How's work? How's life? How's the relationship? It's just good to know what's going on. And that way, if something shady goes on, you understand why. So I want to switch gears for a second, because you brought up a while ago talking about people being happy for you. Have you ever had a frenemy? Friends in your face, but they not room for you. They really not room for you.
Yes.
Messy.
Yeah.
Some people are just messy.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, they stuck in high school. They just messy. I have been through periods of time where it's like, I just know, like, I know people talking about me. And then what's even worse is, like, true friends, for me, you should not be comfortable with somebody dragging my name. Because if somebody's talking about one of my friends to me, I'm like, yo, chill. And then I'm going to go tell them, like, yo, this person really not for you. So I feel like I deserve the same. I feel like friendship, every relationship should have loyalty, love, respect. You got to respect me. If you don't respect me enough to check people, if they're talking about me behind my back, I'm going to say you're weak because you don't have the courage to stand up for me, or you believe it. And I can't tolerate either of those.
Yeah.
Because it's like, which one is it? I would never let anybody talk bad about my friends in front of my face. Yeah. And I've had that happen to me multiple times. And that's where I have to, distance myself from people. I interact with them when I have to, but I learn how to be quiet real quick. I'll be in a room full of people and not say a word. It's certain people you just can't trust. You can't trust with information. Because you say one thing on Tuesday, by Wednesday, it's like 5 people in here calling you. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I should be able to trust you with my information. No. And that's why there's that meme that says you can't tell everybody everything. But if it's a true friendship, you should be able to tell me anything and not hear it from somebody else the next week.
Yeah. That wasn't a friend if it's going elsewhere outside of that department.
Yeah, some people just don't know how to shut up. They just chat too much.
Oh, and as far as like the whole defending, I think people sometimes confuse it and go, okay, well, they think they have to like go into full-on fight mode, which you do not have to get, in the streets or nothing like that, but it's just, one, don't sit there and sit in the gossip and don't
laugh.
You're
encouraging it
because you're, uncomfortable, so you're laughing with them, or you just shut it down.
Because you know what, they'll come back and tell you what happened, and for me, it's like you want me to be mad at that person, but really, I'm mad at you.
Right. Because I'm mad at you. The crap from the person that's gossiping about you.
Yeah, it's like they're not my friend.
That's a hater.
I knew that.
But for me, I don't even let it get to the friend, because what do I need to tell you that for? You weren't there for it, so what do I need to? I always question people where they bring negativity to you. If you're my friend, someone's saying something about me.
Hey, I'm telling you, people like drama. Some people just love drama. They
Let it
do.
down, let it be. I don't even need to know about it. I don't
Mhm.
need to know about it. For what? What is it going to do for me?
Yeah.
What's it going to do for me? It's going to anger
The
me.
fact that you had a whole story to tell is like you sat there and let this person tell this whole story. You messy too. That's a friend of me. Excuse me to me. That's a friend of me. Because a friend would say, "Oh, so was trying to talk to you. I shut it down." That's the end of the story. A friend of me is they got the whole story, all the details, what so and so responded. Thinking you're gonna get mad at those people. No, I'm mad at you because clearly you don't think enough of me to stop it.
I only want to hear the story because I want to hear what you said back or did back. I'm being honest.
I peep stuff like that. If I'm around someone and the whole conversation you talking about other people.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Move in silence. Like I learned to be quiet around certain people. You're not gonna hear these stories. You're not gonna have a clue what's going on. How are you doing? Fine. How's work? It's cool. Work is work.
So on this whole toxicity now, we're getting to the unhealthy friendships. I have another scenario for you. I know how, because I hate stuff like this. You mentioned the yes man earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a friend, they're about to get into some stuff that is not good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're in a group of 5.
Mm-hmm.
3 people are like, yeah, go ahead, do what you gotta do you. And you're sitting here like, no, that's a stupid idea. And then you tell them that's a stupid idea. You shouldn't do that. And these are the reasons why. And they all turn around and look at you and go, why are you so negative? Why are you such
Yep. Been there. Always. I've been there. And then people come to me years later talking about, oh, I see what you were doing. You were looking out for me. I didn't realize you were doing it on purpose. I thought you were just boring and a stick in the mud. I've had that happen to me years later. And then they come and say, thank you. I peep stuff. I peep everything from jump. I am the most observant person. I see everything. People don't like, when you see a quiet person, they're not just quiet. That person knows everything. Now I'm putting y'all on game. Okay. The quiet person knows all. They see everything. They know what's going on. So people try to flex and try to lie, but it's like I peeped it. It's like I peeped that 2 years ago. Like I knew this was gonna happen. I see everything. And I joke about my friends. They're like, you always checking people from jump, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, but was I ever wrong? But was I wrong? You don't give people a chance. But was I wrong though? It's a gift or whatever. Like my intuition, I trust my intuition. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna be mean to a person, but I got my eye on them. Or if my friends, this is even the thing, because like my therapist be like, mind your business. With the thing where you see, your friend about to do something wrong. She's like, you can't save everybody. I'm like, no, I can't. But it's my friends, it's the people I care about. If they're about to do something wrong, I'm telling them. I don't care if I'm the only one. And 9 times out of 10, I'm the only one saying, don't do that. Or this person's not good for you. But at the end of the day, my version of minding my business is I'm going to tell you once. I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not your mom. You're an adult. Live your best life. But you can't say I didn't tell you. And then this is the part where I'm saying I'm forgiving and like the little chance for redemption because they want to come back. After they done made the mistake.
So they can't come back and they made the mistake for you?
No, I'm saying they want to come back and lean their head on their shoulder after they done fell in the gutter. Oh. And it's like, it's hard to be there for somebody because I told you not to do this. So that is hard for me. And maybe that's something I need to check and grow on because that's always tough for me. Because like you asked, like I didn't volunteer this information. I don't volunteer information. You asked, I gave my opinion. You went ahead and did it anyway. Because like you said, the 3 other friends said yes. And I was the only one that said no. But this is what always happens. They don't go back to the 3 other friends that was like, they're going to come back to you. Of course. And that's why I feel funny about that. I feel funny about it.
I understand that.
It's like, what I'm supposed to do now? do I feel sorry for you? I feel sorry. I don't like anything bad to happen to people, but still, like, do I feel completely sorry for you? Really and truly?
I just put up the boundary after I give, like you said, you tell them the once and you let them do their thing, because at the end of the day, there's still a grown person that's going to make their own choices. I let them know while I'm telling them, if A happens, I don't want to hear it. So my friends,
I've done that too. I have done that too.
I told you not to do it because I didn't think it was a good idea, and you got hurt in the process. Don't even come back to me. Tell me.
I've done that too. I have this problem more so it gets tricky when your friends are dating or in a relationship with someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you know that person is no good.
Mm.
What do you do?
Oh, I've already been in all these situations.
You tell them?
Yes.
You just let them.
That's your friend. You still got to voice your opinion, right? I'm assuming if that's your friend,
because like I said, what happens to your friends, it trickles down on you. And that's why people like mind your business. But a part of it is my business. It is a little bit.
That person's going to be there too.
Exactly. They're infiltrating your circle now.
Yeah.
They're in your space. So it is my business a little bit.
Yeah. I've already been in that situation, and it got really toxic or whatever the case may be, but I just basically put up the boundary, and it was very painful, but I had to say, you know what? As long as you ride in this train, my phone will forever be open. You call, I will answer. You text, I will respond. But in terms of the face-to-face interaction, I can't do it anymore.
But you are you listening to them complain about the relationship?
No, the boundary was already set. I don't want to hear it anymore. I want nothing about this relationship as long as you're still in it.
That's how I do. I'm like, we gonna have one, maybe two couple conversations about it, but it's like you're gonna keep pursuing this. Mm-hmm. If you want to live with a toxic person and engage with a toxic person, that's on you. Like, that's how I feel. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I have friends that they're like, Candace, you always judging people's relationships and you always hard on this person. You think they're not good enough. But like I said, it's like, I'm usually never wrong.
And it's, and your friends have.
You just want the best for your friends. That's how I feel. Right. And I feel uncomfortable when people question me when I do stuff like that. Because I'm like, I want the best. These are people I hold in very high regard. I hold my friends in very high regard. They are very important to me. I want the best for them. So it makes me uncomfortable when you checking me for checking something. I'm like, I hope that you would do that for me. Do you hold me in high regard? That you setting standards for anyone that I decide to bring into my life and our life. Because if I'm dating someone, they're going to be in our life. That's how it should be. Mm-hmm. Me and my friends, some of my friends, we were very, codependent, very close. Very, very close. So it's like anytime somebody date, it's like a job interview. Like, we were not playing. Because we spent a lot of time together. So if you date someone, you're going to want to bring them around, as you should. I feel like they should become part of the friend group. And so it's always funny, like one of my friends, she's like, yeah, anytime I was dating someone, I always think, would they fit in with my friends? And it sounds so codependent. It sounds so bad. It sounds so bad to say it out loud, but I feel like that's so real. I think about it because I'm like, these are the people I spend most of my time with. We go on vacations together. Mm-hmm. The person you date should be able to fit in with that. Because when you do date someone who doesn't, it gets a little tricky. If you date someone and your friends decide that y'all can't be in the same room, it's going to cause problems. You're going to have a problem in your relationship and you're going to have a problem with your friends. If the two can't cross, you're always going to have to make a choice. Right. Do you stay with your partner? Do you show up to the whatever event it is your friends are doing? Mm-hmm. So it sounds crazy to say it out loud, but yeah, when I'm dating someone, I'm like, are they going to think it's weird that we all want to go on a cabin trip every fall? We do. Me and my friends, for the longest, we always go on a cabin trip and we always go to the beach. Like those 2 trips happen every year for like the past few years, except for COVID. So it's like, are they gonna fit in? Am I gonna want to spend 3 days in a row with this person and my friends? Is it gonna work? It sounds weird to say it out loud, but everybody thinks you
No,
should
I
think
don't
about
think
that.
that's crazy because I mean we're getting older. We're not kids. So I'm also assuming, you know, at the age that we're at, we're not just dating for the hell of dating. It's not just something to do. You're dating, you're trying to hopefully you're dating because you're trying to actually, you know, build with this person, have a life with this person, maybe get married to this person, have some kids with this person, whatever the case may be. So it's not just this person's just here for now. I would hope that they're thinking in terms of the future. So if you already know these are your friends, these are your people, they're not going anywhere, and you're dating somebody, you do want to look at the whole picture of how is this future going to look later down the road. If this person,
You know how they say like you marry someone else's family.
yeah,
I think more importantly, you marry someone's friends because those are you gonna see those people way more than you see their family.
right.
So it sounds crazy to say it out loud, but I think of that even before I even think of what my family's gonna think. I'm like, what are my friends gonna think? Are they gonna fit in? We're kind of weird. We like to go to karaoke. We like to do like, you know, silly stuff. I'm like, this person needs to be able to be silly.
Or at the very least, just respect the fact that you guys do it.
That too. But if I'm with someone, I want them to be there. I don't want to like, oh, I'm going out with my friends. See ya. Like, no, I don't. That's just
Everyone has their thing though. Some people, they're just okay with that.
It depends. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, if I'm with someone, I want you to be around all the time. I'm kidding.
No.
I want you to be around all the time. I would want them to.
ATL, get at Candace. She wants you around all the time, guys.
I want to be up under you. I want you to be next to me when I'm hanging out with my friends. I want you to come on the car ride to the cabin and the 5-hour drive to Destin. Like, I wouldn't want to just be like, oh, it's our friend weekend. See you in a couple days. Like, I think that's weird. I don't want to do that. That's just for me. I would not want to just
girl,
leave them at home.
My girl, sometimes.
I get that. I'm not that needy. Like, I'm able to. I feel like you should be able to bring them.
Yes.
I'll say that. Like, it should be an option.
Yeah.
They don't need to be on every trip. Because I need space sometimes too. But I feel like if I'm going out with my friends, we're going, you know, to dinner or karaoke, whatever. I should be comfortable bringing them, and my friends should want them to come. Because you know, with my friend, when we go out, I'm like, oh, you bringing so and so? Are you bringing your boyfriend? You bring like we should want them to be around.
Yeah.
Other than, oh,
are you bringing them?
right. So you have, oh my God, are you bringing?
Who's coming? Who's all coming?
So coming.
Yeah.
You gonna bring them? Like, I feel like that's what I'm trying to say.
That's fair. That is
because fair. I've seen both sides of that.
Yeah.
And you bring it like that gets
out of equation real quick. If
it gets toxic.
Like,
well, I've had to break that down to friends. Like, I need you to understand that I cannot be in the same room as this person. I'm not giving you ultimatums. I'm just making a statement. But eventually decisions have to be made. Because it's like, even for me, that's why I say I have to think about, is this person going to get along with my friends? Because realistically, it would be foolish to sacrifice. Yeah, I'm not going to bed with my friends. They can't keep me warm at night. But still, I'm not going to sacrifice 15 years over, I just met you. You know what I'm saying? Or even if I didn't just meet you, this is fresh. Sounds crazy to say these things out loud, but that's real. If you think about it,
that's real.
You dating someone, even if you've known this person, this is new. I'm not going to sacrifice all this time and quality. People we've taken time to, like I said, I'm a brick building full of Jello, but the bricks are big and thick. Okay, so these people took time to chisel through the bricks.
They invested
15 years later.
They invested, yeah.
Some of them are just now seeing the Jello, what flavor it is, okay? So this new person, it's got to be a special person.
I was about to, okay, so I'm about to flip around. So what if they are? Now, granted, we take into consideration what our friends say when we introduce like a significant other. But what if, the feedback that you're getting is, I don't like this person, but they can't pinpoint what it is. They're not even giving you good feedback of what it is. It's just, I don't
It
like it.
depends.
And you know,
sometimes that's real though. Sometimes that I'm telling you, that
very
intuition be real. So like I said, it comes to. Do you trust your friends? Do you respect them?
Yeah, sometimes it's not necessarily that you're.
Some people be hating. Some people are just jealous. Like they're like, oh, this person's taking up your time.
That friend is a little.
I don't like that. So it's all about intent. I trust my friends. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, they taking up your time, I'm gonna sabotage this. Like, I don't think my friends are gonna do that.
I've been in those situations.
Of course they exist, but that's why I said you always need to reevaluate your circle.
Yeah.
As codependent and needy as we are with each other sometimes, I do think they have my best interest at heart. I don't think they would sabotage a relationship for no good reason. So if they do say something, I would listen. I would hear them out.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you feel obligated to ask your friends their opinion about someone you're dating?
No, but I want their opinion. I don't feel obligated. It's not something I have to do. Hell, I live in Texas. Most of my friends in New York. I mean,
that's
the
true.
likelihood is they would have to fly here to meet them anyway. So
that's true.
But I want their feedback because at the end of the day, I'm imperfect. And, when the butterflies and crabs start flying around my head,
you don't see those red flags.
I can't see. So
you don't see the red flags?
I love the stories and situation as they pan out. So they're able to go, you know what, that doesn't sound too right, Colette.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's very important to choose your friends wisely. Like, this is not just people that you're having fun with, especially not at this point. Like, we're grown. It should be past going to the lounge or getting cute or brunching mimosas. Like, it's deeper than that. Right. Like, you should be able to, like, it's about sometimes like making life decisions. You know what I'm saying? This is real stuff. Like, who you're gonna be with, that is a life decision. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're not just dating for fun. Right. Because if you're dating for fun, like, they can come out with us, but they're not coming on the trip. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. They're not coming to the cabin, but we can go out and, grab a few drinks. Like, we need to understand what the situation is. I'm not judging you if that's what you want to do. Live your best life, but I just need to understand what it is. I know how to proceed. Right. Yeah, I don't need to get attached to this fling. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that happens too. Like, your friends might get attached to your partner. Mm-hmm. And then y'all got issues. And then it's like, no, save it. It's just funny, man. But yeah, I think that is tricky. That whole, when you gotta choose, you gotta make those tough decisions. Once you're getting older, people are settling down. It's like friends, relationship. Mm-hmm. It's hard to balance that. Mm-hmm. It's tricky. Mm. But for me, just with it, whether it's a relationship or just a general decision, I don't want to see. Like I said, I want the best for my friends. I think they're good people. They're smart people. They deserve the best. So I will insert my opinion, but I'm not going to beat them over the head with it. I'm just, out of concern and out of love, this is what I think. And that's it.
So do you, even for a fling or whatever the case may be, do you insert your opinion on that if you feel like the fling is toxic? Or are you just like, this is a fling, it's going to go away soon, whatever?
If it's just a fling,
but it's toxic. you missed that. But it's toxic.
Can a fling be toxic? Then it's not a fling. Because once it's toxic, that means emotions are getting invested.
No.
Or is it just a toxic person?
Just into some crazy stuff. Let's put it that way. You don't have to be no emotions. Your friends, got picked up some girl at the bar or whatever, and she's down into some crazy stuff. Okay, they over there doing lines of coke or something. I don't know. He's just like, this is whatever. The friends now doing coke. Like what?
Yeah, that's different. That's different. I don't think I've ever experienced that.
I haven't either. I'm just like throwing out a random scenario.
But look, I'm gonna be like, yo, y'all really over there doing coke? Is that what we are right now? I would have to say something. And but also
it's just he's
like,
you know,
but like I hope that they're comfortable enough to say these things.
Right.
Because you might not even know. But that's why you gotta, like I said, check them circles.
Yeah.
Don't keep no secrets.
That's the thing too.
Because like, when you do a coke every other weekend, that's an important detail that I need to know. Because I'm not trying to get caught up in no mess.
Right.
And disclaimer, nobody is doing coke. I don't know anyone who does coke.
Nobody that's doing coke either.
This is just a bad choice.
I was like, this video just went crazy.
It's okay. We're grown. People do it. People do coke. Some people do coke. I don't know any, but it does happen. But yeah, I don't like to encourage toxicity. I don't want it around me. I don't want no mess around me. I don't like it. I do not like drama. I'm too old for that. I never really liked drama. But I mean, drama, it was entertaining when you're younger. You know, let's be real. But I'm too old for that. I am too old. I do not have the patience. I have very thin patience. Very low tolerance for nonsense. Everybody knows that about me. I love to have a great time. I'm very fun. YOLO, let's rock out. But nonsense, can't do it. Can't do it. Mm. So it is hard to see friends going down a path, you know? Mm-hmm. So how long do you feel like you can watch that before you have to draw that boundary?
This was a couple of years ago. It takes me a while. I'm very emotional. I am very emotional, and I don't like letting go. So it takes me a while to be like, all right, this is now affecting you, Colette. This is hurting you, physically hurting you to see this happen. Once I'm able to pinpoint that and go, okay, it's really affecting me, then I draw the boundary. And I'm also, praying very diligently that the person wakes up, because if it's still like, okay, I put the boundary up there, but this person's still living their life, after a while, I have to, you like you said, demoted.
Because do you ever just like cut people off completely?
No. I told you I fight for my friendships. If that means I'm snot nose crying over the phone, staring out my heart of why this is, listen, I have no filter when it comes to that.
Like I said, I don't kick people out, but if they're walking, I'm not going to stop them. After a point, yeah, I'm not gonna, hey, come back. I'm not gonna do that. Mm-hmm. It's only so many hey come backs you're gonna get from me.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like real toxic. Like if you choose to walk, I'm gonna let you walk.
I mean, I feel like that's fine at this point, because if you don't want to be here, there's nothing you can do for me at this point. Like you said, that one-sided friendship where you're giving and pouring into that person, but they're not pouring back into you. At that point, they're sucking your energy, your lead.
Yeah. And for me, as far as making mistakes, I mean, of course I'm human and I do make mistakes, but I have the belief, just in life, I would much rather learn from somebody else's mistake than make the mistake on my own. But there are people who believe they need to make their mistakes. And those are people who I need to, like, you will be at arm's distance. Because it's a mindset thing. That's not my mindset. If I can avoid making a mistake, I'm going to do it. If I know that ABC did this, I'm like, okay, ABC did that. Let me not do that. And that's it for me. But they're like, oh, ABC did that, but maybe if I do it, it's good. I'm just it's different mindsets. I'm going to avoid making a mistake at all costs. But some people like to learn hard lessons. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about those people?
I say I'm both people. So as somebody who's in both categories, I say that's completely fine. As long as those hard lessons that you're learning, obviously you want to learn from people for sure. Because some lessons is very, very, very hard to bounce back from. So you don't want to be in that position. Grace of God, I haven't been in that position. But yeah, I've had to go and explore some stuff on my own, even though I've seen other people do it, because, I thought, I'll figure it out.
I'm different.
Absolutely. How many times you said it to yourself? But yeah, that was her. But me, I'll figure it out.
Different.
So yeah, you gotta learn. But it's I can't say that you can only watch other people. You're human. You will make mistakes, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the whole thing is just grow from it, because you can avoid something because you saw somebody go through that and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. But then you're just living your life out of fear at a certain point too.
I don't think it's fear. It's just awareness. Like, I'm not afraid. Like, if it's something bad, it's like I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want that to happen to me.
I'm saying though, some
It's
people
wisdom.
internalize that. I've seen my friends go.
Yeah, of course. But that's
I would never want to go through that because
that's a balance that you need to find,
right?
Where it's like you're not just afraid of everything. But I think, like I said, it involves wisdom. Like, I'm wise enough to know that I don't need to learn that specific lesson. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid of it. I just know it's not for me.
Yeah.
So, but it's about, like, friendship. It's about choosing people who fit in your life and you fit in theirs. Like, you don't have to adjust. You don't want to make them fit. If I know somebody's into something I'm not into, like, we just don't need to be friends. Like, it's not always gonna be a back and forth. Like, you always have to do this. And like, if somebody smokes cigarettes, like, it's like, I don't smoke. I don't enjoy that. I don't want that in my apartment, It's like, if that's a hard, fast boundary for you, like, you want to be friends with a bunch of people who smoke, and it's like, oh, when you go over their house, you can't go over to their house, but they come to your house and you have rules and they feel offended, that sort of thing. It's like, why be friends with this person in the first place? You have to have some standards and morals that are just steadfast and unwavering, where you can say, okay, these people fit or they don't. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to have that up front. Sure. Of course, we change, but it is important to have, like, a few set rules that you're just not willing to move on. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I gauge my life. Like, I'm not judging you. I don't care what people do. As long as you're not hurting yourself or somebody else, don't care. Live your life. But that doesn't mean I need to go along with it either.
Right.
I'm not judging you. Don't judge me. That's how I feel.
Right. No, that's real right there. As you grow, things change. You stop doing. I mean, I was party girl in college. Okay, I say my college friends, they'd be like, "Colette don't club no more." Is this right? What I'm talking about? What? She don't got liquor in her house? No.
Right.
No, I don't.
Right. We all been there. We've all been there. We were out not every weekend, multiple times in the week. Like, we were doing it.
Right.
We lived it up. That's why I feel like at this point, it's like, I'm good now. Like,
like, if you're
we had our fun.
Or respecting the change, then it's like, okay, well, if that's all you know is that college Colette, and you're not willing to accept this Colette, then there's no place for you in my life, and that I'm okay.
Yeah, me and my friends, we reminisce and we laugh. It's so funny because we're like, look at us. We're just like grown and grumpy in the house at 9 p.m., ready to go to bed. Playing video games and card games, drinking Sprite, and eating pizza. Like, no liquor in sight.
That's a party to me. That is a party to me.
I tell people, I'm like, don't call me after 7 p.m. now. Don't do it. If you come up with a plan after 7 p.m., it's tricky. It gets tricky. You might not see me there.
I'm in PJs.
I can't make a guarantee. I can't make a guarantee that you see me there.
Yeah.
No, but that's life. You grow up, man. You gotta grow up at some point. I can't be with them Peter Pan, Never Land people. Can't do those.
Yeah.
I get irritated because sometimes when I'm out in like an unfamiliar environment, I just in my heart, my soul, I feel irritated. And then after the fact, I learned the ages of the people who are in the room, and I'm like, I get it. And it's like, it's cool. That's for them. Right. But I just know I can't, like, I just can't do this all the time. Mm-hmm. You have to be with people who are on your level. And age is not like a hard, fast thing because I was always younger than everybody. Mm-hmm. But it's just, something to be cognizant of. The level of maturity, not necessarily the age. So.
That's facts. Yep. Oh, friendship. Hope you guys.
I want that Bruno Mars, Count on Me like 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
I'll be there. No, I don't even want that. I want old school. My love is 90s R&B. Okay. My love is deep and soulful. I want that count on me. Count on me through thick and thin. Friendship that will never end. When you are weak, I will be strong. Helping you to carry on. Call on me, I will be there. Don't be afraid. Please believe me when I say, count on. You can count on me. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want that Whitney friendship.
Yes.
Okay? I want that down and dirty, grungy friendship.
Oh, we gotta do all that.
Down and dirty, grungy. Not struggle. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Just down and dirty, grungy. Like you're not afraid to get in there and come out. That part. You don't just stay there. You got to be willing to go through. Being human is complicated.
Yep.
And involving people in that, it's tricky. So you got to be strong. And like I said, for the 10th time in this video, check your circle.
Mm-hmm.
Always. You have to evaluate the people you surround yourself with. Because I don't know who said it, but they were like, show me who your 3 closest friends are, and I'll show you who you are. That's why I say friendships are so important. I'm like, you're not about to have me out here looking crazy. Okay? Because people, it's like, with my friends, people know, like, oh, y'all friends, So I'm not gonna be out here making you look crazy. I don't want anybody in my life that's gonna be out there making me look crazy.
Also, like you said it earlier, quality versus quantity, like how long you person. Like I said, majority of my friends are in New York, but I have friends here in Texas that I've met and known for all of 2 years now. And when I say those friendships are still close, like if I fall off the face of the earth because I'm in a moment of sadness, depression, whatever you want to call it, and I don't feel like answering or making any phone calls or doing any posts or anything like that, I could probably go maybe 2 days before, if I don't answer that phone, I'm getting knocks at the door.
Good.
But
even still though, before that, I feel like you should be able to be like,
I haven't heard from so-and-so.
I like that.
Think to call. It's like,
I like that. I just told my boss that. I'm like, you know why I'm never late? Because if you see me 5 minutes, now it don't even take 5 minutes late. If I'm not on time, somebody's calling me. You build the expectation, like, okay, I know Candace is like this. She like this. Like, I'm a person, I'm pretty regimented. You can predict me. I'm predictable. So if I'm not a certain way, I want you to check. That's what you should. That's friendship.
Oh, well, Candace is acting funny. She's moving.
Right. Like, I should know you well enough
to think that.
That's why I said it. Friendship, aside from your romantic relationship, I feel like it's if you're in a marriage or dating someone, friendship is like your second next most intimate relationship. It should be that close that you know that person inside and out, that you know something's off. And besides me being overly perceptive, like I should be able to like, there's something wrong with you, And I'll be like, I see something's wrong. You don't need to talk about it. But when you're ready, I'm here.
Right. And that's it.
But even like you said, when you disappear, I don't like to do that either because I just like, y'all, I'm not feeling it. I'll just give them a heads up. Like, I'm not feeling it. You might not hear from me for a minute.
I won't ignore a call or anything, but it's like me to, reach out and all that. What you guys doing? Let's hang out today. That will just stop. But I won't like get a call or a text message and just not respond. I'll respond.
Some people do that. I don't like that.
Can't go that far.
Just give me a heads up. You don't have to talk about it. Just let me know. Because I am the person that's gonna keep digging.
My way. I'm working on that part. I won't go out my way to go, hey, I'm in this rut right now. I won't do that. But if you reach out,
I've done that.
What's going on? Then I'll be like, you know what? I'm just having a hard time right now.
Yeah, I've done that. I'm like, y'all, I'm not feeling it. Just give me a minute.
They don't accept I'm having a hard time. Okay, well, I'm on my way over. I got some food. We can talk. We can hang out. And I'm like, I just want to be in solitude. But you know what? I've never had experience where they come over and I still feel like crap after. It's like,
Yeah, but that's a good friend.
After, so it's needed, and I appreciate that.
A good friend knows when you need it.
Right.
Like, I'm not in the mood to see nobody, and they show on the door, and I'm like, come in. You know, but there's times where I say that, like, all right, I'll call you back tomorrow morning. And I have friends who do that. They're like, okay, I'll check on you tomorrow. That's a good friend.
They know the tone of, okay, this means I can push through, and this is no shit.
Yeah, they're like, can we break through this?
Yeah.
Or let me just give her a moment.
Yeah.
But it takes that. People are scared of that word intimacy. Look it up, y'all. It does not mean sex. Please. I say intimate a lot and it makes people uncomfortable. I'm looking directly in the camera. Please look up what Merriam and Webster have to say about intimacy. It does not mean sex. It means closeness, a closeness of relationship. Friendships should be intimate relationships. I strongly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't feel like I can know anything about you or I can tell you anything, that's not friendship to me. That's why I didn't like that meme. I'm like, is it true for most people? Yeah, that's true for most people. You can't tell everything to everybody. But I feel like in my life with my friends, I could call any of my friends and tell them whatever and not feel any type of way. Even within my friend group, we have a group chat. I could come out the group chat and tell one friend something just because maybe I'm not ready to tell the group. I'll tell them, and they're not going to go back to the group and say, if they'll pretend like nothing ever happened. We'll go right back to the group chat like nothing happened.
Yes.
That's friendship to me.
Yes, I do.
That's friendship to me. And even when I do disclose it to the group chat, they act surprised.
No, seriously, round of applause for those people.
That's a real friendship. Okay.
Sometimes you just connect a little bit more with one versus the other whenever you're ready to talk.
It's just like, I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna tell one person, and when I'm ready, I'll tell everybody.
Yes, shout out to that person. She already knows who she is.
Yeah, but I really do feel like I should be able to call any one of my closest friends and tell them anything. Mm-hmm. And if I feel like I can't do that, you're not a real friend. You are an associate or somebody that I know.
Right.
And that's period for me.
I got another question. Okay, so if someone gets demoted, as you call it, I feel like I already know the answer. If they start doing better in life, they start working on self, maybe they go to therapy. For you, can they go back and get promoted?
Can they come back up?
Yeah.
It depends on why they got demoted. Okay. If it was a personal aggression against me, a demotion doesn't exist. You're just gonna slowly exit. But if it's just you going through something and we talked about it and you just have to go through it, I'm gonna let you go through it at arm's distance. But if you come back around, I'll let you come back around. I've had it happen. Like I said, over the holidays, I had to sit down and have a friend and talk with a friend. And she told me her perspective. Like you said, people say there's three sides to every story: your truth, their truth, and the truth. So with relationships, the truth kind of doesn't matter. You just have to hear their truth and they hear yours, and you have to come to a mutual agreement on it. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because as much as I say, like, I'm gonna cut you off, you just gotta let go. Like, I'm not that bad. I want to, like, I admire someone who's willing to sit down and talk it out.
Right.
Because I'm always willing to, like, I will always be like, yeah, I did that. That was wrong. That was not okay. It was me. I meant it, but it was me. Like, I'll be honest. I'm very intentional. If I did something dirty, like, I thought about it. It's not right. Of course not. I'm human. Like I said, I'm human. I know, like, if I'm mad, like, I might say something slick.
I gotta get into this a little bit more. So you just saying straight up to this person, I meant it, it was wrong, or are you actually giving them a true apology? Is the farthest you going is just, I was wrong?
Oh, we're doing apologies. Like, just jokingly, like, I meant that. But if we're really trying to move on, like, we're gonna have a real conversation. Okay. I was hurt because of XYZ. I did this, and I know it hurt you. Because I wanted to, because I felt bad. That's the truth. You hurt me. I was being petty. I did something to hurt you back. That was not right. And I'm sorry for that. That's a true apology to me. Admit the truth, take accountability, apologize. There are many steps. That this is what I'm saying for me.
Okay.
Apology requires 3 steps. People just want to apologize. I don't like that.
No, I hate the word sometimes.
I don't like, I honestly, you could just tell the truth and be accountable. You don't even have to apologize to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like sorry, because people use sorry as a band-aid. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the truth, take accountability, change behavior.
Okay.
Those are the real steps.
I'll get into that last one, but you said it.
Let's add, that's the bonus point right there.
Yeah, because people can apologize all day.
Because the bonus point don't come till later. So you can do the first 3 and I'm like, okay, we come back. But I'm looking
for that change behavior, yeah.
Paying attention.
Mm-hmm. That third one for me is how you.
I don't know what the time limit is, but I'm paying attention for that last bonus point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair.
Yes.
Okay.
But there are some things that I don't know. There are some things that I don't know. Unforgivable.
No, of course.
And that's just me. Some people, they're more flexible. I'm not as flexible on certain things. If you cross me and it's like real savage and real inappropriate, like no amount of apology is gonna.
I gotta hear some things. Throw some stuff.
I'm really big on intention. I'm really big on being a person of integrity. That's very important to me. I'm really big on loyalty. I pride myself on being a person of integrity. I'm not going to do nothing to hurt my friend. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm not going to talk bad about you to other people. I don't like that. So if I notice a pattern of that sort of thing, I can't tolerate that. Mm-hmm. It's like, what you in my life for? Just to hear my secrets so you can talk about me? If it doesn't serve me, I don't want it. And that goes for things, that goes for places, that goes for people. And it's not just about me, because I give, out of the abundance of my heart. I love to give. I love to help people and give gifts to people and make people happy. But I feel like it should be reciprocated. Because I have felt like in a lot of relationships, I've given and given and given, and it didn't come back to me. When there were moments where I needed people the most and they were nowhere to be found. So that's why I'm so like I have that hard line, because I have been abused by friends in the past. Like I have had people take advantage of me. So that's why it's important to know the why. Because people will just be like, dang, Candace, that's messed up. You shouldn't be cutting people off like that. But there's a reason. And I tell people that too. I'm like, people have hurt me in the past. So I have a very low tolerance for betrayal. It's not like I'm just like, oh, I'm cutting you off. You knew. Mm-hmm. I give people the standard up front. I set the expectation up front. So if you break that, that's even worse. That's even worse betrayal, because I told you and you still went and did that. So am I going to forgive you? Probably not. It's very unlikely.
That's fair. That is fair.
Thank you. She said it. It's fair.
It's fair. It's a respect factor.
Yeah. Who likes being hurt? Nobody likes being hurt.
It's respect. And I feel like there's no situation, no circumstance where you should ever lose respect for your friend, even in the heat of the moment. That's a big thing for me, actually.
That's hard. But even though like you lose respect for a person,
that for me is unforgivable.
But if you lose respect for a person, not from what they've done to you, just from their behavior, how does that work?
I see. Okay, so I would have to define that differently, because if they did something that made me view them as like less than, or whatever the case may be, that's more of I hate their behavior. Mm-hmm. Like I'm disgusted by your behavior. That needs to.
And how long do you tolerate that?
I will stay. If this was, it just happened, I'm gonna stay how I feel about that. But if it ends after there, then fine, it ended. But if it's something that is continuing to happen, then you get the distance. Now, if you just still going, because then that's the demotion for me is the distance. So now you go from friend to associate. If you're still doing that, then I have to cut you off.
So you do have scissors.
Yes, I have scissors. It took me
Okay, because I was starting to think I'm the only one that got the sharps.
No. Like I said, my journey is different. It took me a while.
They are the lock and key under the 6 feet under the floor.
There are scissors. Because for a while I was like, okay, everyone just gonna be in this associate pool. And I went to therapy and they were like, no, they don't even need to be in that pool. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's how I feel. Because I'm like I said, your friends are a reflection of you.
Yeah.
So if you just become a completely different person, no.
Yeah.
We're getting old. We are getting old.
Right. And we have things at stake.
We have like things attached to our name.
That's foolishness to be around.
We have a reputation.
Exactly.
Even when I was in college, I was like, and I tell this to everybody, you cannot be around too many people that have nothing to lose. That's dangerous. Rewind. You cannot be around too many people that have nothing to lose. When I was in college, I was not playing. I was like, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get my license, even shortly after. I'm like, I can lose. I have a lot to lose. I can lose my job, not just my job. I can lose my license.
Right.
That's serious. No. That's why it's a hard no. When you become a person that has too much to lose, you get real serious about who you associate with.
Uh-huh.
That's why I say number 11, number 12, check your circle.
I would say never be around anybody that doesn't have anything to lose. That's me personally.
Well, of course. But I mean, just if you go out and you don't know everybody there, you gotta always assess your environment.
Of course, yeah.
So what are the lessons? The lessons are check your circle. Mm-hmm. Respect yourself, because if you don't respect yourself, you're not going to be able to identify others who respect themselves. So you need to learn to respect yourself so you can align yourself with people who do the same. Because if you're with people who don't respect themselves, they're not going to respect you.
Mm-hmm. Proper communication.
Communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Every relationship should have, what did I say? Loyalty, trust, and love. Was it loyalty, trust, and love? No, loyalty, respect, and love. That's what I said. Loyalty, respect, and love. Every relationship. Mm-hmm. Loyalty, respect, and love. Mm-hmm. And when you apologize,
be sincere.
Apology, accountability. My memory is just horrible.
That's right. Change of behavior.
Come on. It was four. There was apology, accountability. It was something else, and then change behavior.
Well, you put your sincere.
Oh, tell the truth.
Yeah. Take
Accountability. Apologize. Mm-hmm. Tell the truth. Take accountability. Apologize. Change behavior. F is for friends who do stuff together. For real, guys. But friendships are important. They're very important. I would not be who I am or where I am in life without my friends. Because especially as a young adult, you start to cling to your friends way more than even your family.
Right.
Like when I started working, like I still, even though I'm not at that job anymore, I still have some of those relationships. Some of those are the closest, most important relationships that I've had. These are people who are really strongly impacted my life. And when you work 12 hours, 3-4 days a week, you definitely see these people in your family.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So it's not always about quantity of time. It's about quality of the relationship. Mm-hmm. So don't get hung up on, oh man, I've known this person since I was a kid. If they still acting like they were when y'all was kids, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to adjust. Some people get demoted. Some people get promoted. Some people, you gotta open the door for them to walk out. And lock it. Lock the door.
Lock the door.
Sometimes you gotta lock the door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry to you.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna leave it open.
No, you close the door. If there's changed behavior, like it has to be changed behavior. But then you gotta realize if you're coming to me change behavior, you don't just go back to the status you were at. You gotta start from ground zero.
You gotta prove. You gotta prove.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. You gotta prove your worth, man. But that's the thing but people are peoples. There's people who they play in jump rope, double dutch, they get in and out. I got time. I don't got time. You're not gonna keep going in and out. You can only come in and out so many times.
People only do what you allow them to do. Sometimes.
I feel like when you're younger, you have the, automatic door, opens on it, opens as soon as the sensor.
Yeah.
When you get older, you got that door that once you open it, slams back automatically. I feel like as you grow, you gotta reinstall different doors.
And if you're Candace, you got a lock and key on. If you got keys.
That door got to spring back. Like if you open that door, look, snapbacks quit. Automatic lock on it.
There's a whole code system.
You got a keypad.
Fingerprint.
Eye scan. Oh gosh. But yeah. Tell all my friends I love you guys. I'm grateful for you. What else you got?
Ditto.
What?
I said ditto. Yeah, ditto. They know that. But definitely grow too. Don't be afraid to grow in your friendships. It's hard when you're going from, like you said, elementary school or high school, when you were younger and didn't have too much cares in the world to navigate.
No responsibility.
Now it's different when you're trying to grow and like redefine your boundaries, because sometimes people see those boundaries and they're going, well, they weren't there before. Like 14 plus years, they weren't there before. Why do I have to follow these rules now?
And it is those friends that you've had the longest sometimes.
That will try it.
They will try you because they just know you're not going to leave.
Right. And for that,
some people look, like I said, some people need to learn lessons.
Yeah.
Right?
They gotta get demoted. They gotta see the boundaries. They gotta see, there's a distance.
It sounds like these people trying to volunteer as tribute to be made example out. If you want to learn this life lesson, look, you can learn it. Okay. They do think they're immune. And they will try.
I also hate the excuse of, I'm busy, I don't have time,
People make time for what's important to them.
Say it again.
People make time for what's important to them. I feel very strongly about that.
Thank you. Because you found the time when you were going through whatever issues you were going through with your man. You found the time when, you needed X, Y, and Z from me. But you couldn't find the time to call and say, hey, how you doing?
That's what I said. Like, I've been very traumatized by people always taking. So if I start to notice that trend, I get very alarmed. Very alarmed. And it's hurtful when people, it's like you being nice, you have a big heart, people take advantage, especially when it's one of your closest friends. That hurts. So you got to heal from that. But at the same time, that's why you set standards. And you can't just allow people to roll over you, friend or not. I feel like, and it's not even about testing people. I'm not, because people will do that too. They want to test you to see what you're gonna do. I think that's childish. That's like, you don't make a setup. That's not necessary. But you need to be observant. Always observe and see if people are growing with you. If they're not stepping up to where you want to go, your friends will be the people that hold you back because you feel like you have obligation to them.
Right.
So that's something that you need to be careful of as well.
Yeah, definitely. Always add to your circle too. I mean, you can learn a lot from people, different ages, different cultures.
You know what's funny? I have a lot of friends who are older than you. I think you should always have some friends who are older than you because you learn a lot. That's not the point I was trying to make, but I do have a lot of friends who are older than me. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you and your wisdom. But when I was younger, I was on that whole no new friends thing. Like heavy. That's toxic too. That's toxic. Because when you get tracked with them friends sometimes and you start looking around, you gonna make the new friends real quick. You should always be open to getting to know new people.
Absolutely.
And it's not necessarily about replacing the old ones, but you never know what value you can find in, a stranger, quote unquote.
And question when you bring those new friends around your old friends and they getting upset, because you should be supportive that there's someone there taking up the slack when you missed it. And not saying you missed it because you're a bad friend, you just missed it. Like in my in Texas, my friends can't physically be here for me even if they want to. So they're supportive that I have friends here that are like, I can call, I can.
And just like I said, your romantic relationship, your partner should be able to mingle with your friends. Your new friends should be able to mingle with your friends.
Absolutely.
Because I have people that are like, oh, I can't go out. I don't mix friend groups. I don't believe in that. I think I'm just weird. I don't believe in that. I have friends from college. I got friends from work. I got friends, I'll be mixing up people all the time. And it's fine. Because like I'm saying, if I'm a person of integrity, all my friends are people of integrity, people I hold in high regard, they're respectable people. I should be able to bring them all around each other.
Right.
I think it's questionable when you can't. Like, why?
There's something wrong with this.
What's wrong with this person that you can't? That's what I always say. I'm like, why can't I mix friends? Then you never know. They might have something in common that could be beneficial. It's about networking, especially as an adult. You got to network. You never know what opportunities might come up. Yeah. You holding back somebody else's blessing because you can't mix friends. That's crazy to me.
Nah, man.
That was random, but that just popped in my head. Like I always thought that was weird. People have real strong no mixing rules. And I always thought that was weird. Because I definitely make a habit of mixing friends. Like all my friends know each other, even if it's just by name or face. Like they know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have friends that I've known from like high school or whatever. Huh?
When you finally do meet them, you feel like you all know each other.
Yeah, they know each other. Like, oh, you're a breed. Boom, boom, boom. That's your boyfriend. I love it, but I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Because when they do finally meet, it's just like funny. And I'm like, I just love to watch it. Because it's like now everybody gets all the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Don't be afraid of mixed friends, people. And if you can't, you need to check that and see why.
Set your boundaries. Like Hannah said, let them know the standards and stick to it. And if they change because people grow, that's okay. Just notify them of the change. And if they are a good friend and they love and care about you, they'll respect that. And if they're not respecting your boundaries, that is something to really think about. And
they're not your real friend.
Where they fit in your life. And it might not be with the title friend. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I understand why people are scared to lose friends. Like I said, sometimes that's worse than a breakup.
But I
get it.
It's gonna happen another way. It's just gonna be more painful if you hold on to it.
Yeah, it is funny how people they do treat their friends more important than the relationship. As far as breakups, like they will cling to that friendship with a death grip. But sometimes it's just some people just not for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with them. Like maybe they just, we grow up. Mm-hmm. I've had people and they're like, oh, I saw so-and-so the other day thinking it's gonna be mess. It's like, we didn't fall out. Like I don't hate this person. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate this person. Yeah. We're just not close anymore. And it's fine. Like I don't have any ill will. So that's funny too. Like, no, every breakup that's like breakup it wasn't a fallout or catastrophic thing. Sometimes you just grow apart.
You know, it doesn't have to be catastrophic.
Relocation is catastrophic. It can be. It can be. I mean, it was for me at the moment. That's another story. But yeah, so things happen. Friendships ending doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. It just happens. But you have to be okay with letting it happen. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the best type of evolution. And you see that person on the street and you can say, hey, and it's cool and it's fine. That's the perfect world. I think that's how it should be.
That is fair.
And then there's other people that you just don't want to catch on the street.
Nah, yeah.
I don't think there's anybody out in my life like that.
And avoiding the street is just.
I don't know.
I don't think there's anyone I'm avoiding.
I don't think so. I've had awkward moments. I will avoid people, not for that reason, but I will avoid. If I see somebody, it depends. If I see somebody I know in the store, like I will go the opposite direction. Like if I'm just not in the mood to talk, I do that all the time.
No.
I will pretend like I don't see them. I will go in the next aisle. I will walk all clean around the store.
Oh, see, I'm not avoiding anybody. If we had a ball,
Because I just don't feel like talking.
we don't have to talk.
No, some people like to talk, and I just don't have time to. I
It's
just don't.
it's just like a person that you're just not in the mood to talk to right then and there, or is it a person that you had a bad falling out with?
I don't avoid people for that. Like
Okay.
if it's somebody, but I don't really have those too many negative experiences where it's a fallout. I don't really have too many of those people, but sometimes I just don't feel like talking. So that's more like if I'm in the store and I see somebody I know, I will.
Person.
It's not just that person. It's just I'm awkward. I don't like seeing people I know in the store.
Okay, celebrity Candace, what is this?
That's not like I just
coming after you. What's happening?
I just sometimes it's just weird. Like you out and about and you see someone that you know that works in your same facility. Like I don't know them like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like something like that. It's like I
guess
know,
like, yeah, I wouldn't want to run into my patients on a day off.
yeah, that or you know, if you go to church, sometimes you don't. I don't want to have a conversation. Like if I'm going out and about on my day, just getting my groceries, I just want to get my groceries and go. Because sometimes I just don't be able to talk. I think I talk a lot. Like I'm obligated to talk a lot at work just for what I do. So sometimes I just really don't feel like talking.
Throw them headphones in real quick and just keep moving.
No, because they'll tap you. People will try to break through the headphone. That's why I would just go to the different aisle. Sorry to y'all people. If you saw me in the store and you thought you saw me and then I disappeared, that was on purpose. See, I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you can talk to me, guys. I like to talk. I live alone. I am up for conversation. I do too. Don't talk to me about your issue unless I'm at work. I don't want to hear about it.
Oh God. See, you got specifics. I just don't want to talk at all.
Yeah, I like to talk. It's just me and my cat. I welcome conversation.
I'm not always like that, but some days I just don't be feeling it.
No, it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
I just want to get in and out. That's it.
Okay.
Anyway, friendship. Peace and love.
Yes.
This was Hey Cuz. Guard your friends, your good friends. Keep them close. And always evaluate your circle.
Yes.
That's
Don't be afraid to go through those growing pains. It's part of life.
If y'all got questions, comments, or concerns, drop them. We want to talk. We want to hear what you guys think.
Don't be afraid.
Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that. Whatever. The bell or the thumbs up, all those. Hit the buttons. Hit the buttons. Hit all the buttons. Okay. Hit all the buttons. Hit all the buttons. But we love you guys. Peace, love. This was Hey Cuz. That kind of rhymes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.